Hello and welcome. I'm Sanjay Pinto. In a state where the line between politics and films is wafer thin, when a controversy erupts and political parties throw their hats into the ring, can films be left behind? If there was one initial rallying point in Tamil Nadu over the Mullai Periyar standoff, it was a film, Dam 999, that the Tamil Nadu government decided to ban because it felt the movie would add to the panic and spread further misinformation on the safety of the dam. The director of that film, Sohan Roy, who had to be escorted by policemen, met the Tamil Nadu Home Secretary at the Secretariat to seek the lifting of the ban and joins us on the big question: is artistic freedom in conflict with public interest? Mr. Hariharan, director of the LV Prasad Academy, Rajasekaran from the Congress, Aditya Shivakumar, a lawyer, and Shweta Narayan, an activist, also joined the debate. But first, let me take you through the headlines. A lathi charge in Theni. Lawyers boycott courts across Tamil Nadu. Tension builds up ahead of the Supreme Court hearing of the Mullai Periyar standoff. The Dam 999 director Sohan Roy meets the Tamil Nadu Home Secretary amidst tight security but fails to convince the official on lifting the ban on his controversial film.
Why I made a movie about a dam when this court case is going on. I said it is my fundamental right.
DMK MPs observe a one-day fast to condemn Kerala's stand over building a new dam at Mullai Periyar. Karunanidhi accuses the centre of dragging its feet over the issue.
மத்திய அரசு கேரளத்துக்கும் தமிழகத்துக்கும் நடைபெறுகின்ற இந்த பிரச்சனையை ஒரு வேடிக்கையாக கருதாமல் இது எதிர்காலத்திலே மிக மோசமான விளைவுகளை ஏற்படுத்தக்கூடும்.
While unrest prevails over the dam, prominent Chennaites appeal for calm, an Ndtv-Hindu campaign. Chief Minister Jayalalitha announces 1 crore towards the conduct of the Chennai Open. 7 murders in just 10 days haunt Chennaites. What's the status of the investigation? Ndtv-Hindu finds out. As Rajnikant turns 62, his fans want this day to be declared as World Style Day.
We are praying for him, we have prayed for him, we'll be praying for him.
Joining us in our studio, Mr. Hariharan, director of the LV Prasad Academy. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure.
Also joining us through our Obi van, Shweta Narayan, an activist, and Aditya Shivakumar, who is a lawyer who will give us the legal perspective, of course. And we'll be joined later by Rajasekaran of the Congress party. But first, let's go across on the phone line to Sohan Roy, the chief architect of this particular controversy at least. Mr. Roy, the timing of the release of your film coincides with the Mullai Periyar issue reaching a flashpoint. Is this a well-planned, cheap publicity stunt on your part?
No, absolutely not. Because the movie was supposed to be released 6 months back. But unfortunately, it got delayed because of some technical issues in the post-production. There is post-production, some complication on the special effects and the 2D, 3D conversion. So the release got delayed by 6 months. And all of a sudden, unfortunately, this earthquake happened. Because of this earthquake, all these issues came up.
Mr. Roy, you've said that your film has nothing to do with Mullai Periyar, but the title of your film, Dam 999, many believe is a dead giveaway, and it's a clever reference to the 999-year lease relating to the Mullai Periyar Dam.
No, actually, this is not directly linked to Mullai Periyar, but this is about a dam disaster. So, actually, if you look at it from the Kerala point of view or Tamil Nadu point of view, they can think that this is Mullai Periyar. Because there are 4,000 similar outdated dams across the world, like Mullai Periyar. Because the spark of this movie I got from Mullai Periyar only. I don't deny it. 4 years back, I read an article about Mullai Periyar. From there only, I started my research. So, but in this movie, we are not telling anything about Mullaperiyar directly, but all what we are saying is a disaster of an old dam.
All right, that's actually breaking news right now, Mr. Prasad. All along, Mr. Sohan Roy says it has nothing to do with the Mullai Periyar issue. He has just now told us that the spark of the film comes from the Mullai Periyar issue, that he studied that issue. So he's done a complete sort of turnaround on our show tonight.
Well, I know. Honestly speaking, I don't care about all these. I just feel that there is a filmmaker here and there is a filmmaker who wants to make a statement. And if a filmmaker wants to make a film about any issue, he should or she should have the complete right, like any other media person, to make an issue or make a statement on that issue. It's simple. I mean, 2 years ago, Mr. Sohan Roy has already released a 25-minute documentary about the Mullai Periyar Dam, and it is widely available on YouTube. I mean, there has never been any protest about that. I mean, that's clearly taking on Mullai Periyar Dam.
But the timing is what is significant here.
Time is significant, but however, what I look at it as that this is how vandals and politicians take on the soft cinema as a soft target. They will not take on other channels, other media in this country. But cinema is always a wonderful soft target because that's what will give them the headlines on newspapers and television.
All right, that's an important point. Shweta Narayan, as an activist, somebody who's always upheld freedom of all sorts. What is your take on this? Do you believe that, again, the state is justified because there are reasonable apprehensions in this case?
No, not at all. I think that there has to be tolerance, and state cannot take sides of a few who think and who insult everybody else's sensibilities to go and find for themselves whether they like or not like, or they are in support of the issue or not. The state cannot take sides of a few and hold this democracy to ransom for a few vandals who threaten to create a law and order problem. If you see, I mean,
sorry to interrupt, Shweta, it's not a question of a few vandals in this case. All the parties in Tamil Nadu are for a change on one page. The Tamil Nadu government has also called for a special resolution in the assembly. Let me go back to Sohan Roy. Mr. Roy, artistic freedom is one thing, but Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution also has reasonable restrictions. I repeat, reasonable restrictions hemmed in. If your film is going to lead to unrest, if your film is going to create a law and order issue in Tamil Nadu, isn't the government justified in banning it, because it's the same government that then has to deal with the law and order situation? We've been finding, even today there was a lathi charge. Slippers were thrown at a minister just yesterday. What's wrong in at least deferring the release of your film till this tension subsides?
How is it possible? Because before the tensions created not by the public or something, it's created from some political leaders. Actually, the movie was not viewed by anyone. Only the people who saw the movie was the censor board. They did not find anything wrong with the movie. They give us a clean sheet. But all of a sudden, some political people, they came up with some issues, and they all created a problem. The movie has, if the movie is making some problem, it should happen in Kerala, not in Tamil Nadu, because Mullai Periyar is in Kerala. If it breaks, the people who are going to suffer is from Kerala. Why should they create some problem in Tamil Nadu?
All right, let's go across to the lawyer there, Aditya Shivakumar. Aditya, let me quote Voltaire, who said, "I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it." Is this growing a symptom of growing intolerance in our society?
Well, thanks a lot, Sanjay. Mr. Roy has been very candid on your show and said that he's broken the news, like you said. But don't go too far. But you can see why the state's apprehension in the recent judgment of the Supreme Court, where the apex court categorically held that in relation to a movie that emanated from the Uttar Pradesh state, at paragraph 23 of the judgment, if you read it, Rajdeep, I hope Mr. Roy and Shweta Narayan will have the benefit of reading it.
Rajdeep, this is Sanjay
they categorically say it is. Sorry, Sanjay.
I think you're watching too much of CNN IB and you should switch to Ndtv-Hindu. No, let me interrupt you here. Let me interrupt you also in a matter of fact here. You're quoting a Supreme Court judgment. I will also quote now Ore Uru Gramatale, the Supreme Court judgment. That's a landmark case. Can you actually have now a parallel, the competent authority to decide whether a film should be shown or not, whether a film affects sensibilities or not, is the censor board? once a film is cleared by the censor board, can you afford to have parallel censor boards, every state government almost usurping the power of the censor board? That's the issue here, which even the Supreme Court, there's a settled judgment on this.
Sanjay, the censor board may not take into the sentiments of the people. The Supreme Court has been categorical in saying that the state must maintain law and order. Now, the onus is upon the state to maintain. I mean, damn 999 is a very contentious issue in both Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Now, the sentiments of the people must be taken into account. If this could lead to a breakdown of law and order, Mr. Roy is not responsible for it, nor is Shweta Narayan, but the state government. Now, the state government, in its power, suo moto, have decided to ban the movie, and I find nothing wrong in that.
Shweta Narayan, yes, that's an important point that Aditya is raising. At the end of the day, no, we sitting in television studios are not going to go and face the tension at the border.
On people. No, Sanjay, this is not the first time that a movie has been banned because, you know, you perceive a law and order problem. This is not the first time. We have a history of this kind of action in the past also. You have Parzania, you have Water, you have a TV serial called Tamas, which was a controversial. I'm saying that the main issue over here is that while the state, you know, cannot infringe on somebody's rights of freedom of expression, the state also has a proactive role to ensure, while our lawyer on the panel says that it's justifiable for the state to ban the film, what action has the state taken on people who are threatening to create a law and order problem? It's just a one-sided, you know, you being drawn into a political...
See, it is a preventive measure, Ms. Shweta Narayan, allow me to... It is a preventive measure that the state has taken. The state will stand by its decision, and law and order is more important than a 90-minute documentary or a 120-minute movie.
But Aditya Shivakumar, if you're talking of preventive measures, and it's open to the state to also use preventive detention if they fear there's going to be a flare-up. Are we barking up the wrong tree here?
That is pushing the limit too far.
No, I mean, this happened in My Name is Khan in Bombay.
Yes, Aditya.
The state has acted within reasonable measure. The state has, allow me to complete, Sanjay. The state has acted within reasonable measures, because you see, this issue is not something that can be settled across the table. It needs negotiations, it needs affirmative action, it needs a proactive role, like you said, Sanjay. And Mr. Roy is very, very clever in trying to release the movie at this particular juncture.
That's a question a lot of people are asking, Mr. Hariharan. It's a timing here. I go back to that point. Had it been released earlier, maybe people wouldn't have talked about it. It now seems that it's a stage managed kind of thing, that he will get the maximum publicity. People talk about his movie. Is that really an issue here?
I don't think that's an issue at all. Honestly, you know, every film will have some issue to talk about, you know, and it's always, all issues are always going to be of topical value in this country, you know. And now, for example, just 2 months ago, there was this film Arakshan, and there was a caste issue.
Again, do you believe we are prejudging the issue? Because even with Arakshan,
yes,
people don't watch the film. They go on the basis of rumors or on some sort of hearsay. Even Arakshan, many say,
yes,
it had really not much to do with reservation. Exactly. It was more about commercialization of education.
Absolutely, absolutely. But the film, the way these people went again, these made Arakshan a soft target just to get publicity for themselves. And that's because now, why don't they, for example, this discussion can be stopped, you know, and say, no, you should not even talk about this, you know. I mean, media should have the complete...
Giving people ideas, don't just target the film industry, target the media as well.
I mean, so the point is, media should have the complete freedom to, because that is the only space for any valuable discourse in this nation, you know. And cinema is one of the spaces, according to me, just like television is and newspaper is, you know. And so I think anybody should be the right. Let us release the film and see what happens, you know.
All right. Shweta Narayan, to bring you in here, yes, Mr. Hariharan, who's on the same side as your side, says, you know, that release the film first. But I want to ask you, what is the job, according to you, of a filmmaker? Is it to entertain or is it to provoke? Is it to provoke at a time when at a sensitive time? Because even when since he spoke about the media as well, why isn't the media targeted? Now, for instance, when there are sensitive situations like a terror strike, the media came under a lot of flack, got a lot of flack because a section of TV channels disclosed operational details during you know, an anti-terror strike. So in this case, don't you believe when it comes to the media, be it the filmmakers or the television news channels and the print media, that there has to be an element of restraint when it is called for?
No, Sanjay, it's very simple. Art is meant to provoke. Everybody has a right to tell their story, his, her, as Mr. Hariharan said. And it's up. I mean, I'm saying that there are a couple of issues that we are completely sidelining over here. One is an average intelligence of your film viewing population. Are you thinking, I mean, because, you know, a group has said that this will cause a law and order problem, they're also passing a judgment on people's intelligence. Let people see and decide. There are a lot of films, I mean, we can start naming them, it will take us a while to understand, but there are a lot of films that cause this kind of, if you want to get panicked, if you want to get scared, if you want, I mean, you know, you have films on aliens to, you know, climate change and what happens to the world. I mean, we can get panic and stop viewing or even allowing such films to be made. The point over here is, and the biggest hypocrisy of this kind of, you know, attitude is with the case of Mr. Hussain. When he was alive, he didn't even feel safe to come to this country because, you know, he was so badly treated over here. The day he dies, you should have seen the TV channels full of statements from left, right, center, everybody
from the Prime Minister,
the son of soil.
From the Prime Minister also on that. Ironically.
Exactly, a Prime Minister who could not protect this man from entering into this country is suddenly, I mean, and not just Prime Minister, everybody I'm talking about. So this is a hypocritical stand which you want to make political mileage out of it and nothing else.
All right,
let
all right.
the audience decide whether...
Point taken. Yes, Shweta, let me get in Aditya Shivakumar, because you know he has to go. In fact, we have another guest also lined up there at the Hindu studio. Rajasekharan will join us. But before I let you go, final question to you, Aditya Shivakumar. This is what the Supreme Court also dealt with. It's in fact the Supreme Court which asked Sohan Roy to go to the Tamil Nadu Home Secretary, asked the Tamil Nadu government to give him an opportunity to be heard. The fundamental canon of jurisprudence, audi altum partem, which is natural justice, let the other man be heard. In this case, it was denied to Sohan Roy, which is why now they've satisfied that legal requirement.
Well, see, I'll put it this way. Let me reply to Ms. Shweta Narayan's comment. Art is meant to provoke, but for heaven's sake, we're not living in a banana republic. There must be some reasonable restrictions that are in place, and Article 19(1)(a) clearly states that. Now, Supreme Court, in its wisdom, has asked Mr. Roy to come and speak to the Home Secretary. He has gone and spoken. Now, the government has taken a very conscious call to maintain law and order. See, law and order is paramount, Sanjay. Law and order cannot subserve art or cannot subserve any other criteria or categories. Law and order is supreme in every state. You know that. You're a lawyer. You should tell Mr. Roy the importance of law and order, and not to create panic, not to create confusion, not to create chaos.
Okay, what about the question I raised, natural justice?
See, justice is always there. I mean, justice is always there. It's up to Mr. Roy to go and seek the appropriate relief. I mean,
no, natural justice, Aditya, before banning, this is subjective satisfaction of a threat. Before banning a film, shouldn't we have given him a chance to come up with that? That's what I'm talking about, natural justice, which even the Supreme Court, you know, raised the other day.
If Sanjay, if the state feels that it is even greater, that the threat to the public order or the public the control over law and order is even greater than natural justice, the state can. I mean, the state is, after all, the protectors of the public.
All right, fair enough. Thank you very much, Aditya Shivakumar, for giving us a legal perspective. We'll allow Rajasekharan then to get mic'd up as we get in a Congress perspective as well. Let's go back to Mr. Sohan Roy. Mr. Sohan Roy, what is your personal take on this dam dispute?
So actually, personally, if you ask me, I'll tell you, Tamil Nadu is badly looking for water, and it is the moral responsibility of the Keralites to give them sufficient water. Because Kerala, we have plenty of water, plenty of rivers. We are wasting our water. It's just flowing to the Arabian Sea. But in Tamil Nadu, they are really starving for water. So it is the moral responsibility of the entire Keralites to give the water. But at the same time, it is the moral responsibility of Tamil Nadu to make sure the lives of Keralites are protected by building a dam across the rivers for water.
All right, Mr. Roy, I don't mean to cross-examine you, but just to ask you now as an extension of that earlier answer, how much of your personal opinion is reflected in the movie?
And actually, I'm making an international movie. My job is not to educate the Keralites of Tamil Nadu only. The movie is made for 200 countries across the world. And so naturally I cannot just make a movie just for Tamil Nadu, this Mullaperiyar issue. So this particular movie is telling a story about all outdated dams across the world. So naturally, if you look at from any country's perspective, it is one of the dams existing in that particular country.
Mr. Roy, what is more important to you? This is a question that many in Tamil Nadu are seeking answers to. Publicity for your film, box office collection for your film, or peace and safety of people in Tamil Nadu and Kerala as well?
No, actually, see, personally speaking, I am the biggest loser in this issue, because our main market in Tamil Nadu market is almost 3 times bigger than Kerala market. I have already lost in Tamil Nadu because the movie already got released. And Kerala, okay, Kerala there was we got more than expected collection, but Tamil Nadu market is completely gone. And because of the media hype, everyone thinks that this movie is from beginning to end it is a damn disaster movie. But unfortunately, I'm telling you, this is a love story. Only at the climax we are showing a damn disaster. So the people who came to the theatre with a different expectation, and they get accepted, and they
No, but Mr. Roy, you're twisting and turning too many times. On the one hand, now you're saying that first you say that the spark came from the Mullai Periyar issue. Now you're saying only the final scene, it's a love story. But then the title of your film, sir, that is, the mischief lies in the title, I must say. The devil lies in the title, Damn 999.
No, damn 999 means that is the main problem happened. Everyone thinks that this 999 and stands for the Mullai Periyar contract. That is absolute nonsense, because in the movie very clearly we are saying that this disaster happens on 2009, September 9. That is the date of disaster of the dam in the movie. And unfortunately somebody misunderstood it as the contract.
Alright, let's go to Mr. Rajasekaran from the Congress. Rajasekaran, you're here wearing 2 hats, one of a Congress member of the Congress party and also as a lawyer. I want to quote from you a judgment of the Supreme Court on Article 19(1)(a). With regard to reasonable restrictions, it says the restriction must be justified on necessity and not on the quicksand of convenience and political expediency. How do you respond to this? Is this a reasonable restriction?
Mr. Sanjay, first of all, I want to congratulate and thank the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu who has banned the movie. And secondly, law is supreme in our country, and the apex court has given the direction for the director of the movie to go and plead before the Home Secretary, and he has done. But you know, for the past 1 week, the Tamilians in Kerala and the Tamilians in the border are restless. They have got sleepless nights because of this Dam 999, which speaks about Mullai Periyar Dam, has become a Tollai Periyar Dam. Because of Mr. Sohan Roy, all the Tamilians across the length and breadth of Tamil Nadu and Kerala are suffering. So somebody is suffering, he wants to earn money, make a box office hit and go away saying that I am sorry for whatever has happened. This is not the attitude of a normal human being. People with the eccentric mindset only behave like this.
All right,
I am sorry.
No, let's not let this debate descend to beyond a particular level. But Rajasekaran, I want to ask you, if there's a problem with the movie, why not let the people go and watch it and decide for themselves? If the movie hurts sensibilities, then obviously it's going to flop at the box office. So why are we prejudging it in a sense?
It is the lively. No, it is not going. And you have got so many movies, entertainment movies. You go and watch Robo. You go and watch some other Tamil movie, some English movie. Why watch Dam 999 and go see the destruction of Mullai Periyar Dam in that movie? You talk about something constructive. Why are you talking about some destruction of a dam in a movie and creating chaos and restlessness among the minds of the people of Tamil Nadu, and the Tamilians living in Kerala are being beaten?
What about the artistic freedom? Yes, on the one hand, yes. What about the artistic freedom of a director, of a filmmaker? There's even a universal declaration of human rights which talks of artistic freedom, apart from our constitution, that we are all bound by.
No, First of all, I want to say, because you have the right to freedom, right to make a movie, you talk about sentiments, you talk about so many things, and you cannot make any movie which you want to direct. You should not be a perverted mind director or a perverted minded human being.
Yes, yes.
You should have a sensible direction.
All right.
And a sensible director will not make a movie like this.
Okay.
And I again reiterate,
yes,
the Chief Minister has done a wonderful job, and we congratulate her as a Tamilian, as a lawyer and a congressman. I say she has done the right thing, and the people of Tamil Nadu will welcome it in the interest of their livelihood.
All right.
Not in the interest of some Roy or
he says that the filmmaker has got a perverted mind and he's trying to exploit the situation.
I think that's an extremely very strong misreading about the situation. I suppose we had taken the film that he referred to, Robo, okay, Rajinikanth's Indiran. In that film is based on an entire premise that the Indian army could be replaced by robots. I mean, suppose somebody had taken an issue on this and says, what are you talking, you know? I mean, here is a director Shankar who's boldly saying that why not have a strategy like this? Now imagine if Rajshekhar had come there and said,
it is sensitive because
yes,
here passions are involved. You know, tempers are running
high.
The
point is,
it's a contentious issue.
It's a contentious issue for certain vandals at this moment. You know, I think the majority of the people, they say,
no, but all the political parties are united in this. Is a resolution going to be passed as well?
Let it be, but I'm saying an artist has to have a complete freedom in this, you know, to say what he or she wants.
All right,
and the censor board, the film board of certification has completely okayed it.
Do you believe that the censor board has really not taken into account the sentiments and the possible flare-up?
Certain, I mean, I don't see why it should take up. I don't understand. You know, the central board certification is to see whether the film is going beyond the mandate.
Rajshekhar, yes, Rajshekhar, it's your Congress government that actually is responsible for the appointment. So why are you questioning the decision of your own agency?
No. The central board film certification department is simply independent body. And you have got many members in it. See, sitting inside a preview theatre and giving a certificate doesn't mean you should understand the pulse of the people in the state. And it is going to create a lot of problem. Somebody is, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu with her wisdom has understood some problem is going to be created. She banned it. You should appreciate her intention in the interest of the people. She is a chief minister. She has got all the right to do it, and you cannot simply sit inside a air-conditioned theatre and say this movie is right and that movie is wrong.
All right.
And it sounds ridiculous, Sanjay. You should not have this kind of attitude.
All right, it's not my attitude.
The priority is the safety of the citizens of the
I'm doing my job of conducting what I believe is an honest, unbiased debate. But let me go back to Sohan.
I have nothing against you. I'm only bothered about the livelihood, the safety and the safe living of the people of Tamil Nadu. They should not be treated like hooligans and third-rate citizens in the neighboring state because of dam 999.
Fair enough.
And Mullai Periyar dam issue.
Fair enough. I want to know, I'm curious to know, as are our viewers, curious to know about that meeting with the Home Secretary. Mr. Roy, you've heard all this now. How did your meeting with the Home Secretary end today? Are you happy with the outcome?
No, actually, okay, it went there, but the thing is, I don't think any positive outcome will come so easily because political issues are there, and they were trying to find out a reason to extend the ban. Actually, so today, mainly they were sticking on to establish that I went to Mullaperiyar with this protest area last week. So they are asking me why did I go to that place? But this ban was happened 2 weeks back, and the frequent earthquake happened in the last 2 weeks. So naturally, I went there to express my moral support to the people there who are agitating there. Okay, because they are all fighting for their lives. So now they are making allegations that I went there for supporting them, and the movie was produced for that purpose. But that is not right, because tomorrow if something happens, I may be a victim. My family will be a victim. My relatives, my friends, all will be a victim. So, a moral responsibility. It's my fundamental right. When this kind of issues comes, I have the right to go there and express my feelings.
All right, we're completely out of time, sir. I'd like to thank our guests. Thank you, Mr. Hariharan, for joining us, for giving us your perspective as an expert on the film industry and on filmmaking. Thank you, Rajasekaran, impassioned as ever. Always a pleasure to have you.
Sanjay,
We're completely out of time, Rajasekaran. You have to have reasonable restrictions, at least with regard to timing.
One second. For filmmaking and making money, you should not sell the sentiments of the people of Tamil Nadu.
All right. Point made. Yes, Shweta, a quick comment from you.
Just one point. Quick point. It's not a question of this movie or this is not going to end today. Censorship is basically mindless. We are talking about damn 999. We will talk about Facebook tomorrow because this is something that is started by the Center of Monitoring Facebook. Censorship has no space in a democratic country. A democratic country has to be tolerant, has to be broad-minded, and has to accept even facts and issues which might be challenging the set norms. I'm just saying that we need to think about it. This is an indication of a very dark future for a democratic country like India.
All right, thank you very much, Shweta. Also, what is paramount is peace to prevail. In fact, Ndtv-Hindu has been running a campaign, prominent citizens appealing for peace. Yes, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has taken, in fact, a pragmatic approach and has appealed for peace and calm. Let's really hope that peace and calm prevail over this contentious issue. But stay tuned, there's more coming up. Tamil News comes up next. Thank you for watching.